Hey guys, it's Tony Guattari here from Achievers Group. Guys, look, I just wanted to share a bit of a presentation with you. This might be in certain segments about really what I've learnt about building businesses and what you actually need to do in order to build a commercial, profitable enterprise. Now, this presentation is actually called Prospering with Purpose. So let's just actually go through a couple of slides and let's actually understand what are the principles of building a business. Now, the first major principle in building a business is that essentially why you build a business. See, I actually believe that businesses are fantastic vehicles to create wealth. I fundamentally believe that you can invest money into real estate, but what you can potentially do is really create a lifestyle of your dreams, and really the greatest single way of achieving that in Australia is actually building a business. Because a business doesn't have a cap. It doesn't say this is how much money you get paid. It's not based on your tenure. It's not based on how much education you've actually had. But it really does allow you to create a lifestyle of your dreams. And it really does allow you to create and design your entire life. But unfortunately, sadly, and this is based on many years of experience, sometimes the business owner works the most and earns the least. Clearly, in Achievers Group, we actually do an exercise with many business owners where we ask them to calculate their hourly wage. Now, we've probably done this for about 150 to 200 business owners. And I must say that the vast majority of their business owners are actually saying that their average hourly wage is something like $21. What they're actually saying is that I'm earning $21 an hour for the amount of effort and time that I'm putting into this business. Because you and I know that a vast majority of business owners don't work 40 hours. In many cases, they tend to work the most and achieve the least. It is quite possible that their team members are actually earning more money than them. And really, that is not the function of the business. And I want you to get really frustrated with that. I want you to get angry with that, because the enemy of progress is comfortability. And when we're actually pissed off with a situation, we will do something to change it. So really, it's what do I have to do to break out of that cycle? What do I have to do to break out of this cycle where I'm just working and working and working? And I tell everybody that I've actually got a business, but deep down, gut says, really, I've just got a stinking job. And my job is a really low paid job, which is not right. So the next slide is that, why do I want to build a business? You know, like what's the purpose? Well, look, this is what it'll do. Now, these are the major variables of what a business can potentially do for you. Number one, you have more time to yourself. Okay, because I have seen many amazing business owners who probably spend 1 to 2 hours a week on their business. They are brilliant at leadership, they are brilliant at delegation, they are brilliant at KPIs, they are brilliant at employing people who actually physically do the work. Because, you know, a really successful business owner is a conductor. A really successful business owner doesn't do the work, but actually knows how to get others to physically do the work. Of course, being a business owner will actually allow you to create much more money. You know, clearly, if you just look at the rich list, they're not usually coming from corporate. They're actually coming from people who have founded very successful businesses. So clearly, and there is no limits. There is no limit in what you can achieve in terms of your income potential inside a business. But we all know that if you have a job, that actually is very limited by the industry, by the competition, and also by the sheer fact that you may not be promoted past a certain level. There are no barriers in a business. What also a business gives you is more freedom of choice. You know, you have a choice to work or you have a choice not to work. You have a choice to actually just set up your own times of when you want to do things. The other function of a business is the removal of stress. Because you are your own boss, you can set your own destiny. You can do what you're passionate about. You can do a cause-related business that your heart really drives. Although that you might work hard, you are enjoying what you are doing so much and not actually playing the politics of the corporate world. And the other reason is you can actually allow yourself and reinvest that time to continuing to grow your business. So deep down, a business is a fantastic vehicle to achieve your goals. Now, what do I need to have in a business? Well, first of all, what we do know about successful businesses, you actually need to have a purpose. Now, what I mean by that is that don't start a business without knowing the end game. It's a bit like driving a car. Let me explain to this. You don't jump in a car, you know, I've got a set of car keys in my pocket. Now, if I gave those car keys to a person, they would normally say to me and say, drive me. They would say, Guittari, where do you want to go? Here is the point. The point that I'm actually making is that when you start in a car, you have to know the end destination. Great business entrepreneurs know the end game. Now, usually there is a number of end games. Here are a couple of examples of end games. 1, I want to franchise my business. 2, I want to license my business. 3, I want to position my business for a trade sale. 4, I would like to actually pass on my business to my family. 5, I would like to actually do a management buyout where the team can actually buy parts of my business. Or 6, I would actually just like to work in my business because I enjoy what I'm doing so much, I can't think of anything else that I would prefer not to do. Okay, so first of all, you can see from this slide, you need to have a clear purpose and direction. You need to have clear goals, absolutely. You need to identify your key objectives that are going to get you there. You have to define your real purpose. Now, we call that our vision, we call that our purpose, we call that our mission, and you need to know how to design your business and your life. Now, success is about having clarity, it's about having focus, it's about having fun, and it's about having passion. So what were your goals when you started? And these are the things that you've got to ask as a business owner. What were your personal goals? What were your financial goals? What were your business goals? When you started a business way back, and it might have been 3 or 4 years ago, what were the reasons why you started a business? Because sometimes we have to go back to the foundation. Sometimes we have to go back to the dream. Sometimes we have to go back to the entrepreneurial vision that was birthed inside of us of why we started a business. We actually need to go backwards sometimes and linger passionately in that dream again. Now, most importantly, how do you see yourself getting there? Do you focus on change? Is there personal improvement? Do you design your business and your life? Do you actually work on the road less traveled? Do you motivate yourself and motivate your business? It is said to be truly successful in business, the owner needs to have a vision of something far greater than themselves. And I so fundamentally believe that. I so fundamentally believe that the greatest enemy to success is not adversity, it's comfortability. It's not that we aim too high and we miss, it's we aim too low and we hit. And what I'm suggesting to you is that if you really want to have a fantastic, powerful and prosperous business, have a vision that transcends yourself. Have a vision that is so powerful, so awe-inspiring that when you tell people about it, they think you're an absolute idiot. It is supposed to be idiotic. That is the purpose of having that amazing vision. Now, the foundations of any business are this. Now, I just wanted to go through this with you. I wanted to unpack this. In any business, there is predominantly 5 major aspects. All businesses operate on the same principle. The first principle is they actually have a marketing function. Now, what that means is that irrespective of what the style of business is, when you started the business, you actually marketed that business to someone. Now, you may have not have done it digitally, you may have not done it with a lot of money, it might have actually come through word of mouth, you might have actually gone up to someone and they've given you a quote. So that's marketing, it still is marketing. Then what happens is you sell something. Actually, you might sell your service, you might sell a product, you might sell a combination of service and product. You get the sale. Then what normally happens after that, there is an operational function. You either do the work or you buy the product or you've got the product and you ship it to that particular customer. Then what happens is that you have to get paid by that customer, and that then brings in the accounts and finance side. And then what happens is as your business grows, you actually have to incorporate a HR component. Now, what we do know is that the foundations of any business will actually start to diminish, because even if you just continue to do the same thing over and over again, you will actually go behind the pack, because taxes will start to eat away at your profits. And not only that, technology will start to outpace you. So really the key to business is creating an enormous amount of innovation consistently. Not just innovation in product and service, but innovation in process and delivery. Now what we found in all businesses, and this is a really important slide, is that what you can do, and you can do something that I've done in my own business, where, you know, I've got the gift of the gab. So what I do is I actually then go out there and accelerate my marketing and sales. I think the answer to all my problems is just get me more turnover. Get me more turnover, get me more turnover, get me more turnover. The problem with this is that, okay, if you focus on marketing and sales only, you make more money. Absolutely. But here is the weakness. The weakness is production can't keep up, right? Because you are the production. So you get exhausted. You have no systems. The engine is like doing, you know, it's a 4-cylinder engine and it's going clack, 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 and you're going faster, 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 and it can't take anymore. You get exhausted by that whole process. But not only that, when your production can't keep up, you tend to get unhappy customers. You get a bad reputation, and over time, your business closes down. Now, the other alternative is to do this, is to say, okay, I'm going to leave my marketing and sales alone. I'm going to leave my HR alone. I'm going to leave my account finance alone. And what you do is you actually improve your production and operations. Now, how do you do that? Well, you could build a system, you could buy a system. Many software systems at the moment are systems, but then you have to employ people to run those systems. And here is the issue. Suddenly, all of a sudden, you can actually meet client demands. But the weakness is it is normally expensive, because you've actually got to build it before they come, and that puts an enormous pressure on cash flow. And if your business is not funded, that can create enormous challenges in the business. There is no money for marketing because there is no money. So ultimately, how can you continue to build your business if there is no money for marketing, and ultimately the business closes down? So the question you've got, and the question that you should be asking me, well, Guattari, what is the appropriate process? And let me actually go through what the appropriate process is. And in this slide, you can see the process. The process is plan and grow all the areas in the correct order. And the key here is to working out the correct order. Because I'm not a person that believes in a program. I believe that when you consult to businesses, every single business is different, because every single business is at a different stage of life. And one approach fits all, in my opinion, has never worked. And what a good business advisor and good business coach or good business facilitator can do is to understand what is the right thing to do now. And the key is understanding of those 5 blocks, what do we need to work on and in what order? And if you can do that correctly, you will truly have a successful, prosperous business. Now, you can actually see the journey on this slide. You know, we would like it to be straight line. We would so like just to get here, to get there. But the reality of life and the reality of business, it is a bit of a zigzag approach. You go this way, you go this way, you go this way. It is so important to have clear goals. It is so important to have a clear vision. There's an old proverb, chase two rabbits, catch none. The greatest single weakness that I see in business owners is a lack of clear focus. It's not, business owners don't have a problem deciding between what is good and bad. They have a real problem with deciding between what is good and great. And that is the key. The key is understanding what your focus is and not allowing anything, I mean anything, from stopping you by achieving that particular focus. Now, in terms of building it, now this is an amazing slide which I just wanted to share with you. It is a slide that really predominantly came out of a great book called E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. Absolutely fantastic book, probably one of the best business books that I've read for small business. And I just really wanted to share with you an insight that I've had from it. Now, in this book, predominantly there are three major areas in any business. And the difficulty we have as a business owner, you have these three personalities incorporated into you. The first personality is the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur births the business. The entrepreneur is the one that gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning and says, honey, we're going to start a business. The entrepreneur is on fire for the first 6 months. The first 6 months of a business, the entrepreneur is developing the plans, getting really excited about the business, spending all night full of energy, full of rage, full of passion to actually build this business. But then what happens is the manager is introduced, and the manager is the person that seeks order. The manager is the person that seeks systems. So they actually start to build these ordered systems, and they build processes, procedures, systems, which is all absolutely fantastic. But then what happens is the last of the activities is introduced, and that is of the technician. Because when you're in a small business, you are all doing all of these three aspects in the one person. And you know what the technician likes doing? The physical work. And guess what happens? I'll tell you absolutely. Guess who wins the fight? It's almost schizophrenic inside this person. The technician wins. So ultimately, the technician who likes doing the work starts to dominate the manager and the entrepreneur. So what happens? The business doesn't become a business, it just becomes a job because the technician loves doing the job. You know, clearly I'm involved in a number of businesses, and one of the businesses that I'm involved in is a very large electrical and plumbing contracting franchise business. And it's very evident to me that many of those businesses are actually are still technically based, where they've gone to TAFE, they've become a great electrician and a great plumber, and God bless them, but they actually work in their business because they like doing the technical work. And it's amazingly interesting that one of our most successful franchise owners in this group, who runs one of the most successful electronic contracting companies, is actually not an electrician. Isn't that amazing? He hasn't even come out of the electrical industry, because all that he knows how to do is to become a business owner and entrepreneur, and he employs electricians without being that electrician himself. Now this is an interesting slide. Now this is predominantly what we found across the world. This is a study that we were involved in, and what we actually found out, and this is really amazing, if I ask the average business owner where they spend most of their time, the most extraordinary thing is that they spend most of their time on level 3 activities, which is where the technician lies. And 60% of their time is actually spent in production. So as you can see, the vast majority of their time is spent in an operational function. And have a look at this, only 5% is spent in ownership and only 10% is spent in management. 15% is spent in HR issues, but the vast majority of the time is spent in operations. Now, where do you stand? Now, this is the key question. You've looked at these slides. You've got to ask yourself, are you a self-employed employee? Do you really just have a job? Do you really not have a business, but you actually have a practice? Or are you a business owner? But the key question is not what you are, what you would like to be. That is the key question. So the key question is, as a business owner, a true business owner can happily walk away from their business for at least 3 months and know that they will have a profitable business when they return. You know, I fundamentally believe the definition of a business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that can work without the owner. That can work where they can leave the business and they can't even be contacted, and the business would not only survive, it would prosper and still make money beside itself. Now, self-employed, this is obvious to me that you are tied to the business, you're busy working in it, and you find it hard or simply you can't step out of the business for more than a couple of days, maybe a week. So clearly the business relies on the owner. Remember, the purpose of a business is to serve your life, not for you to serve your business. Your business is not your prison. Your business is there to serve you, not for you to serve it. But unfortunately, it tends to have a life of its own if we don't steer it. It starts to encroach on our personal life, on our marriage, on our health, and we've seen this so many times. And it's all about choice. Do you work in your business yourself, or do you get managers to actually run your business? Now, here are a couple of really key reasons. I just wanted to highlight this slide to you. The question is, what are the key reasons why businesses fail? Okay, number one reason is the business does not plan growth and runs out of cash, even though it's making a profit. There's an old saying, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, cash flow is reality. Number two reason, and we see this a lot in our advising and coaching, business spends money in the wrong areas and runs out of cash to purchase stock, employ people, fund marketing and sales. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I've seen many businesses that are incredibly successful and they've lost their way. Why have they lost their way? Because for some reason the owner thinks that money in the business is his money. It's almost like this giant piggy bank. And what they do is that they actually take out all the funds, they start to buy boats and cars and holiday houses and all this amazing stuff that they can't afford. They don't actually understand the principle of the farm. They don't understand the principle of seasons. They tend to actually reap all the rewards that they've got out of the business, and they leave the business in a cash flow crisis. Their lifestyle can't support their business growth. Number three reasons that businesses could fail is the business owner has limited understanding of their marketplace. So they know how to do the work, but they don't understand the marketplace. They don't understand the competition. They don't understand the customer's expectations. They don't understand pricing models. They don't understand the financing, and they don't understand how to run the business. And number four reason is there actually is no formal planning mechanism. Great. So if that's you, what do we do? And that's the key question. Now, here is your first freedom. This is what you would need to do in order to really free yourself. You need to remove yourself from those level 3 activities. You need to remove yourself from those activities that we've actually said are the technician activities, and you need to move yourself to level 2 activities, which is effectively the general manager of your business. Now, in order to do that, what you actually need to do is you need to do these 5 steps. And let's just go through these 5 steps. Number 1 step is you've got to work out which specific roles you perform in each of these areas. So you've got to look at marketing, you've got to look at sales, you've got to look at production, you've got to look at HR, and you've got to look at accounting. Then you've got to work out how much time do I spend in each of these areas. Number 3, you've actually got to put a system into place. I mean, you've got to put a profound system into place. You've actually got to work out what is the appropriate system that I can put in there. Then you've got to employ people or persons or outsource this function to someone else. And step 5 is that you've got to put reporting systems and key performance indicators in place so you can manage and monitor each task. Remember the guys here, the key here of freedom is you don't do it. What you've got to do is you've got to build the system, okay? You've got to build the processes, you've got to build the procedures, you've got to train the people, and you've got to make those people accountable through key performance indicators, through constant measurements, through constant inspection to achieve those desired outcomes. So that's what effectively you would have a dashboard in your business. The other thing is that what are the duties of a business owner? So predominantly, the responsibility, if you want to move down to this business owner role, is that the role of a business owner is to provide direction, vision, motivation, and leadership. The other function of the business owner is to invest surplus funds into other businesses. Clearly, if you've got this great wealth vehicle, what you can potentially do is actually take the wealth that has been created in the business and reinvest it in other asset-rich investments. So clearly you could buy property if that was appropriate, something that creates greater income within the reasons without sucking too much money out of the business. Number three function of a business owner is to ensure the management team is maintaining the direction for its growth and prosperity. And number 4 is to manage your return on investment. Because clearly in a business, there is a very important financial variable to understand. It's called return on capital employed. Return on capital employed is a bit like, best explanation I can give to you, is that when you invest money into a bank account, you determine whether you're going to keep it in that bank account, usually based on the interest rate you receive and the opportunity cost of putting that money somewhere else. Return on capital employed is the same variable with the capital that you've invested in that business. And the question you've got is to ensure that the capital that you've actually employed is greater than what you could if you invested those funds into other areas. That is the key. Now, reducing time. Now, reducing time is that you need to systemize each functional area. You need to systemize marketing. You need to systemize sales. You need to systemize operations. You need to systemize HR. You need to systemize finance, and you need to systemize admin. They are all systems. Now, a system is brilliant because a system creates efficiency, it creates consistency, it creates duplicability, which means I can do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And what it allows you to do, it allows you to create leverage because the system becomes the business. You know and I know that one of the most successful systems in the world is a franchise. And one of the most successful franchises in the world is McDonald's. McDonald's are brilliant because they make a complex thing very simple. They systemize their business so well that a 16-year-old who can't clean their room can actually run a $5 million restaurant. That is amazing. Now, the other thing about reducing your time is people are your most valuable asset. See, it's great to have great systems, but what I found is that systems without good people are a waste of time. I think systems and people need to work very, very well together. And what we've noticed is that great companies have great employees. Great companies have a clear vision, direction, clarity, and motivation. Great companies is the owner is the chief encouragement officer, the chief energy officer, and really in organisations those people become more of a leader. The owner consistently invests in himself because he realises that he or she is a reflection of the business. Now, then you've got to improve your systems and you've got to maximise efficiencies. Now, you've got to actually do this in each functional area of your business because you've got to improve systems because you've got to make sure that intellectual property stays inside of the business. See, the weakness that I see in a lot of businesses is the recipe is in the head of the person. There is a system. Clearly, that is evidence. but that system relies on either the owner's head or one of the key team members' heads. And the weakness of that is that if that team member ever leaves, the business is completely and absolutely vulnerable. So in order to do that, and now the next thing you've got to do is increase your profits. Now you've got to increase your customers. Now you've got to market the right message to the highest paying prospects. Clearly, you've got to become a sniper in this area. You've also got to identify effective marketing opportunities, so you have to test and measure, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Super insanity is doing the same thing and not even knowing what result you're actually getting. And what you've got to have in business is you've got to have multiple pipelines or activities where you're consistently generating leads. One of the big keys in business is marketing. You never ever stop marketing. You market your business while you're asleep. It is that important. The other thing about increasing your profits is that you've got to ensure customer loyalty. It's called mining for gold. You've actually got to look at not just you're finding new clients, but what we found about businesses is there are so many lost or inactive clients that can be reactivated again. Look, I'm a firm believer in cows. I love cows. And I'm a firm believer that every business that I've seen usually has a filthy, stinking, huge database. And all that they really have to do, instead of jumping the fence, jumping the electric fence, trying to get someone else's cows, they should just look at their own cows and really start to milk those. So that's what I'm talking about, mining for gold, loyal versus satisfied customers. Really looking at your existing customers, your lost customers, your inactive customers. I'll give you a true example. We had a client. This client was really suffering. They were suffering because they said, we need to make more sales. They had no money, but they had a huge database. We instigated a campaign where we actually noticed that they had a lot of lost and inactive clients. We instigated a mail order campaign followed by telemarketing to try to win them back. You know, most amazing thing was 30% of the past customers that were contacted rebought again. 30%. They had 1,000 people that they contacted, 300 of them, well, what 30% is, 300 of them said yes. That is an extraordinary result. And it didn't spend them a lot of money. They didn't toss a lot of money. There was a bit of a mail out and there was someone in admin with a script actually phoning them up. That is the profound power of that. Increasing your profits, you need to create a motivated team. You need to create a team that buys into the vision. You've actually got to create recognition and passion in your company. You've got to realize that people just don't work for money. They work for reward. They work for acknowledgement. They work because they want to feel good about themselves, and they work because we have a great need for significance. Increasing your profits, you've got to find your unique market niche. You've got to market your business differently. I'm a firm believer is that you don't follow the herd, because sometimes the herd is going over the cliff. Don't say we've always done it this way. Don't say we do it this way because everyone else does it that way. One of the greatest single strategies is to find your target. Have a blue ocean strategy where all the sailboats are going one way and you go the other way. You get total cut through. But the most important thing here is to be a sniper. And what I mean by a sniper is that a shotgun strategy is you shoot many pellets, hopefully you'll hit someone. The problem with that is that you can achieve that outcome if you've got lots and lots of money. And many large corporates work on that simple philosophy of we will just continue to market and market and market and market and market. But what you have to be profoundly good at is becoming a sniper. A sniper actually has a gun, they pull the trigger, but they know the target before they pull the trigger. They are completely and absolutely aware of who their ideal target customer is. Now, is your business, in your life and your business, you're either going to grow or die. The opposite of growing smaller is to grow and explode. Now, if the choice is growth, then you've got to establish if the cash flow is negative or positive. Now, if it's negative, you need to improve your cash flow before you accelerate growth. If your cash flow is positive, you're in a position for growth. So you increase each revenue in each area and improve operations in each area. So what it's basically saying is that you've got to establish two options. Number one option, if I've got negative cash flow, I need to address cash flow before I accelerate the car, which is the sales and marketing, and upgrade the engine. If your cash flow is positive, what you then got to do is you've got to use that money, reinvest that money, don't take it out of the business, reinvest that money to build the systems, to build the people, and to massively accelerate the sales and marketing. Now, revenue growth, we just want to talk to you about this. Now, let's just say that you wanted to grow your revenue. Let's just say that you've got your cash flow sorted out. You've got your system sorted out. You've basically got a number of areas that you can dramatically improve your revenue. Number one area is to generate more inquiries. We call this lead generation. Now, lead generation can be very expensive. It is substantially cheaper now than it's ever been because of the use of the internet, the use of landing pages, the use of targeted campaigns that absolutely drive leads. You want to increase your conversion to sale, which is your conversion rate. In many of the businesses that we work with, the single greatest area of improvement, of massive improvement, is not to get more leads. It's to actually improve the conversion rates from a lead to a sale. And I can't tell you how powerful it is when you understand how to sell and not how to push products. I mean, how to profoundly understand the emotional side of human beings so you become a problem solver and your conversion rate goes through the roof. The other areas that you could improve is that you may actually not improve conversion rate, but you might improve the frequency of how often they buy. You might also want to improve the average dollar sale. You might want to improve the client retention rate. Like, is my retention rate 50%? 50% is tragic. That means 50% of your customers are not buying again. You want to probably improve your active marketing to your existing clients. And you want to actually improve your active ratio to your leverage clients or your high profitable clients. Okay, the key here is to systemize your business so you can run it on autopilot. Now, cash flow improvements. Now, these are the major ways that you would improve cash flow in a business. Number one, you can increase your prices. Number two, you reduce your cost of goods sold. Number three, you collect your accounts receivables quicker. Number four, you reduce your inventory. Number five, you improve your working capital. Number six, you reduce your overheads. And number seven, you improve your efficiency. In any business, those are the 7 major areas that will, if you work on those, you could potentially improve your cash flow. Now, in terms of looking at your businesses, you've got to look at your business from a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You've actually got to sit down with you and do almost a mud map, a plan of what are my strengths, where are my weaknesses, where are my opportunities, and where are my threats. Now, the question you've got to ask yourself is, does your business have a point of difference, or is it just a me too business? Consider your competition. What do they offer that you don't? Or what could you offer that they don't? What can you say that you can't? See, one of the keys of building a great business is actually understanding the power of having a unique selling proposition, understanding how to have a unique buying advantage, having something that your competition doesn't do. Now, they might do it, but they don't promote that they do it. So therefore, you take that as a leverage tool and you market that to the world that you are actually doing that. You've got to promote your difference. Why? You've got to capture people's attention. You've got to develop interest. You've got to create desire. You've got to give them a reason for wanting to take action. You've got to develop a marketing plan. You've got to develop a customer loyalty plan. And you've got to motivate your team. Now, how is your service? This is a question. Is it consistent? Is it memorable? Is it passionate? Is it average or sensational? The key here is not to give good service. We expect good service. The key here is to create memorable, ongoing service. It's a bit like me, you know, like I don't go home and I go to my wife Ingrid, say, guess what, honey? Woolworths had food on the shelf. Wow, let's celebrate. Let's tell everybody else. Now, because they're expected to have food on the shelf, the service station is expected to have petrol in the Bowser. That's good customer service. Good customer service doesn't create raving fans. So we go into a lot of organisations and we ask them what is their unique selling proposition. Sometimes they say this: we give good service. So what? You're expected to give good service. The key here is to create memorable service. The other area is to actually the functional areas of your business. Rate your business out of 10. What does your business do? How is your marketing plan? How does your sales team do? Do you have a sales team? Does it operate efficiently? Have you got any systems for your people in place? Do you have your finances under control? Can your business survive without you? So out of a rating of 1 to 10, have a look at those and say, rate myself. You might go, wow, I don't want to go there, Tony, but we need to go there, because clearly the key is to open up your eyes to say, these are the things that I need to improve. Now there are a couple of reasons why you could fail. And I want to just go through some of these reasons why you could fail. Number one reason is that you have a negative attitude, focused on problems. Woe is me. Number two, overall situation of apathy. No passion here. We've worked with many businesses, and I've actually honestly have said to a number of them, I think you should get out of business. Because I actually realise they've lost the heart, they've lost the passion. And usually it happens around 9 years, I found. That after 9 years, we get a little bit exhausted of our business, we get a bit tired, we've made some good money on it, but we have no passion anymore. There is an abdication of responsibility. I give up. There is a short-term focus. That short-term focus is very much based on survival, not prosperity. That short-term focus could be, I'll just get the business. I'll just discount in order to get the business. There is no long-term plan. And there is poor management and people skills. Other reasons why you could fail: no understanding of finances. The only time you look at finances is when you do it with the accountant at the end of the year when they do a tax return. That is insane. Like, how can you improve the performance of a game if you don't know what the score is? No use of business enhancement tools. Always done it this way. Limited or no use of external advisors, thinking that I know everything. I don't need anyone's help. No formal planning mechanism, destroying your cash flow and reducing your profits. Now, where to from here? Now, fundamentally, it's really important, and we can help you in this area if you are keen in this area. Achievers Group specialises in this area. But here's where I would go from here. Number one, you've got to build a vision for your business. You've got to test your business model. You've got to construct a vibrant, healthy, ongoing business plan. You've got to implement, review, and correct. You've got to gain further knowledge. You've got to change the way you think. You've got to seek growth and build a team. And you've got to work on changing your business every day. My strong suggestion is get help, get passionate, get going. All achievement has its beginning in an idea. Now, what is the next steps? Now, fine, first of all, you've got to make this decision, well, I'm truly committed to building a business. And if not, that's okay, because you can still have a very successful business, self-employed. Clearly, my business, Achievers Group, very much heavily relies on me. Now, I don't have a business. I have a practice. My practice is my passion. I do my passion through my business. So therefore, I don't work. I just do what I enjoy doing, which is consulting, training, advising, and speaking. But the thing, if you want to build a business, you've actually got to make some change. Number two, you've got to probably take some time out each work to work on your business. You've got to work on and delivering your goals. You've got a time frame to see those results. You've got to invest dollars into you and your business, and you've got to start and actually get going. Now, basically, how Achievers Group, my company, can help you, we can actually help you because we have developed a number of structured programs with regular meetings to allow you to push and achieve your goals. And what we will actually do is we will work with you to identify your goals, needs, and desires. We will actually work with you to improve your business and improve your life. We will work with you to actually make a commitment to making time to work on your business. We will work with you to implement systems and strategies into your business. We will work with you to actually really help you to gain more knowledge and offer you more support moving forward. We will keep you on track, we will motivate you, and we will move you forward. Because clearly, when you are a business advisor and when you're a business coach, the key function of a great business advisor and business coach is not sometimes the knowledge that they bring, it's the accountability that we need. Because I've seen a lot of businesses, and most business owners know what to do, they just don't do it. The key to me in all of my business experience has got very little to do with knowledge. It has so much to do with execution and implementation. And all I'm suggesting is that if you want really to get some good help, and it may not be Achievers Group, that is fine. Just find someone who annoys you. Because a good business coach, a good business advisor is not there to be nice. A good business coach, a good business advisor, a good mentor is there to challenge you, to stretch you, to actually really push you. It's your unreasonable friend that we all need. So guys, I just wanted to show you that presentation on a business journey and how Achievers Group might be able to help you. So until next time, God bless you. Have the most amazing day. Bye.